Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
It's Friday, people. Wake up. Get ready, because you are listening to the biggest show in the world. 194 countries strong. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the SBTV Nation. Welcome to my man, The Dream. What's up?
What's going on, player? And another absolutely stellar performance out of you and I.
Yes.
Congratulations for yesterday's work.
Yesterday's work. So, you know, the Colorado Buffaloes Dream, it was a little bit of a stomach ache, but, you know, we talked about getting the teaser, getting it down to 6.5 under a touchdown, and sure enough, we got that last points at the end to make it work. Did you get involved in that or no?
Get involved in it. And the thing was that I liked about that game, I know you said it was a little bit of a stomach ache, but defensively,
sick.
They looked very good defensively, but I knew UCLA's offense, seeing him play, it didn't really do it for me, so I expected Colorado to have a lot of success defensively. That all came to fruition. They looked really good defensively, and you figure if your defense is holding you down, it's only a matter of time, especially when you're home, that you're going to figure it out offensively and get it done. And sure enough, that came to form.
Well, when you have a good defense and you have short fields, you have a pretty decent special teams unit as well. It's not that hard. Even if you have a stagnant offensive performance, you're still in the game regardless. And this game was tied 10-10. No, actually they were down 10-7 at the half. And sure enough, shut out UCLA in the second half and made it work and did not cover their spread. But if you were on a teaser like us, bang, you got them.
We always talk about manipulating those spreads, guys. I think you can't emphasize that any more than this season so far. Managing and manipulating these spreads have been so successful, just period, but this season even more so than ever.
Oh, definitely. So when you look at the Colorado Buffaloes Dream, I got to be honest with you. I mean, they're 7-2 right now. Their only losses came on the road at Michigan, which Michigan is the number 2 team in the country, and at USC, who's definitely turned their program around. And they were in that game. They almost, I think they only lost that game by 4 points. So if you look at their body of work, this team is definitely probably in consideration for a really good bowl game if they can keep it going.
Well, they deserve it. I think they played pretty decent this season to deserve it, as long as they finish out strong and don't, have that loss to that, booty team that one night,
Yes.
It's raining out and everything's ugly and you wake up in the morning, you're like, they lost to Hawaii?
Definitely.
But as long as that doesn't go down, yeah, they deserve it. They should get a decent bowl. I agree with you 100%.
Maybe a New Year's Six bowl. So moving on here, we got to talk about the NFL and Dream, great work with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, ATL, like I said, ATL I think is good this season. I don't know what was going to happen to them going forward into the playoffs, but regular season, they seem to have gotten it together. I like what I see out of them offensively. Defense, not so much. You could do a lot more on the defense, but right now against that particular Tampa Bay set, I knew the defense would have some success and their offense should be definitely able to blow them out, in which they just went to form with last night. I mean, they were up and down that field on Tampa Bay. That's the other thing we didn't mention about Tampa Bay. I didn't talk about Tampa Bay's defense being dusty. Their defense, it hasn't been good for a while now.
Right.
And last night was no different. That defense they couldn't stop anything, dude.
Well, you know what? And I have not been a believer in the Atlanta Falcons. I haven't. But I got to say something. I mean, you know, with the aggressive nature and the play calling and the coaching staff, Julio Jones having an amazing year, Matty Ice doing his thing, and going on the road, going into a hostile environment, regardless of how bad Tampa Bay is, and, you know, an interdivision matchup. I mean, we saw it the other night with the Bears in Minnesota. It's never easy. And they made it look easy, Dream.
They made it look easy. They did. They
were blowing them out. I came in and it was a one-score game. I went into the bar after my kids' varsity game last night, and it was a one-score game. And all of a sudden, they laid it the smacketh down. Just went ham in like the second half.
Yeah, they made it look easy for most of the game. I never really felt in question. This was a game that I didn't tease this one. I have the teases open. This game, I just bought the points down and just rolled with Atlanta. You know, I brought it down to under a field goal and had it at 2.5 and went ham on it. And this was a really comfortable play. Nice to get one of these early.
Yeah, sure.
Start the week off, you know, with a little bit of money in the bank. It's very nice to get this one out of the way and off early. Even though I hit last week early too, because I did have Tennessee last week early. The roll's been pretty nice lately. I got it set.
Not bad. I mean, with the exception of my collegiate day last Saturday, you know, I definitely made it up in the NFL. But anyway, moving on here. Do you got any NFL news before we talk a little further?
Only thing is, you know, Josh Huff got released by the Eagles. I guess he got into some trouble with the guns again and a little bit of bag of weed and all that little nonsense going on. And, you know, he's been quite vocal about how he's carrying a gun and everybody else in the NFL is carrying guns. Why wouldn't you? And I'm like, listen, the first thing I do want to say about that, the one thing I will say about the gun thing is gun laws in every state are so different.
Yep.
Like, because I was down south and my boys were like in Tennessee, like you could just have one. You know what I mean? Like, it's not against the law to have a gun, you know? So I the first part that bothers me about the gun situation is just the indifference of laws from state to state. I feel like that should be like, they should come up with like a federal law. First of all, you know what? Laws in general, I don't get how like I could smoke weed in Denver and then get arrested for it in Connecticut. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't you think that laws are pretty much across the board? I think they should just be the law.
Well, you know what, Dream? I'm having a hard time concentrating.
Okay.
Since I saw what Rick Lopez just sent me. What a beautiful photo that is. I don't know if he tagged you in that, but that, my friend, is my speed. Take a look at it, Dream. I'm sure that'll kind of get you going. But I agree with you on that. I think they should be kind of middle of the road. But every state is different, taxation and laws. So we just got to deal with it for now. But, you know, usually most states will follow through. You know, and eventually I think marijuana will be legal.
Oh, I definitely think
it'll
be legal.
Because
sure.
You know what? They're making a hell of a fortune selling that stuff. So anyway, Dream, moving on here. We got a great guest coming in at about, I'd say, 13 minutes or so. We got Tommy Rupich. We're going to be talking Breeders' Cup. Because, guys, I mean, Dream, between all the sports going on, and having a horse race tomorrow, it's Junkie's Paradise, baby.
It's Junkie's Paradise. And guys, I got to apologize. And I know we're skipping around a tad bit, but yesterday we completely missed Golden State OKC.
Well, dude, we had so many things to go over. So many things. I mean, the hour flew by yesterday, Dream.
The hour yesterday did go by very fast. It was a lot of fun. Show was fun. The information we put out, I think, was pretty much stellar. It was on point. Even though I love we give out the information on the show, and then I catch some tweets. Hey, Dream,
what are you on today?
You got UCLA covering?
Exactly. So yeah, Golden State last night versus OKC, and Dream. I'm starting to really believe that there was a little bit of animosity between the two players.
No doubt, dude. I love I broke that story early.
You did. No, I give you a lot of credit because you were the one that were saying that. And a lot of people, you know, didn't think so. They thought they were real tight, like brothers and blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, you know, you see Westbrook coming in with a photographer shirt on. I don't know. So it was kind of like a jab at KD because KD, I guess, was a photographer, has a passion for photography. So he came in wearing something like that. And from what I understand, they did not even exchange words before tip-off.
They did not. Exactly.
You know, no handshakes, no nothing. And KD didn't even do that with any of his old teammates, which I think is stupid.
I think that's kind of stupid too. But my thing with him was, I think he left. I didn't like the way he left.
No, I don't either.
Okay? My thing is, you're in this day and age, nobody's going to fault you from going anywhere you want. So don't fake the funk. Just tell your guys, hey, I'm out of here.
Yeah, right.
You know, or at least I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm gonna look over this. You know, if the offer's right, man, I'm going over here. You know, like, and you don't have to say because I'm not feeling you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could be, hey, you know what? A change of pace. You know, atmosphere is different. You could blame it on a plethora of things, and you can go. But for him to sit there that whole time and act like he was going to stay, and his boys were in his camp was putting out rumors that he was staying and that he wasn't going to go anywhere. He's really happy. And then to completely shock everybody by taking off.
Shock the world.
I thought that was the way he went about it, was Dusty. And even if he wanted to go, my thing would have been, okay, Golden State, I'm going to put you on a timeout for a minute. Let me go over here, clean this up with my dudes. Because you have been messing with them guys for the last few years.
Forever.
You know what I'm saying? You've been playing ball with them for all this time and whatever. You've got to build some kind of rapport and relationship with them. So you go over and say, hey guys, look it. You know, it's been fun. I think this run is great that we had, but I got to do what I got to do, and I'm going to go with Golden State. And just made it clean like that and then bounced over there. He could have just did it so much cleaner.
I agree with you.
Okay.
But you know what? You got to watch media leaks and stuff like that. So maybe his agent just kind of recommended that he just kind of keep his mouth shut. That could have been the storyline.
Well, why? I mean, even if it got out, what was it going to do?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to have no effect on him. I mean, and you know, this was more about, you know, being a friend, or at least I was maybe not a friend. If you don't consider yourself a friend of those guys, then at least being somewhat professional in your relationship with them. I mean, these guys, you traveled together, broke bread together, ate at restaurants together, done all kinds of other crazy things together that we won't even get into.
Right on.
But just the way he did it to me was just Dusty.
I agree with you. So, Dream, we got to move on because, guys, as you know, we have no show tomorrow, but we will be back on Sunday for the show. So we got to talk a little college football because we got a couple of plays up our sleeve that we need to have a conversation about along with the marquee matchup. So without further ado, let's get right into it, Dream, because it's about that time right now.
It's about that time right now.
Right now.
The thing that, listen, I don't know if you guys have taken a look at this college lineup for the weekend and looked at the spreads. There are some puzzling spreads this weekend.
I told you got a lot of home team dogs.
There are some puzzling spreads. There's some numbers that it's like, why is that so low?
Yeah,
or why is that so high?
I agree with you on that. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to lead this one off because I have a teaser that I'm adding one team to, and I'm going to get them down to a pick'em. And Dream, I've started to become a believer in Penn State. And I think Penn State is going to win this game and beat nasty Iowa on the field. Iowa's 5-3. They've got a very good defense. They only give up about 19 points a game. But I watched Penn State, and I see what they're doing. And I'm watching Dream. There's some really nice chemistry going on in that organization. And I watched what they did, and they beat Purdue unmercifully last week. I think this team is rolling. I think you're going to see a lot. I think you're going to see the home field dominance here. I think this team is going to win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they cover the spread, but since I've got a beautiful teaser going on, I'm going to get them down just to win the game. What's your thoughts on Penn State University?
Well, I like what Penn State done as of late. I think this game's got stomachache written all over it.
Okay.
It's going to be a really nasty game. I can't believe that out of all the games you want to pick this one out.
I know Iowa is a couple of good things about Iowa. You know, just kind of play devil's advocate here. They are 8-1 in the last 9 games on the road, but Dream, when you looked at Penn State, what they've been doing at home, I mean, they've won their last 5 games at home. And it's electric out there. You have to kind of go with the home crowd and go with this whole package here. I don't have any injuries that are really bothering me in this game. Iowa is 5-2 in the last 7 when playing at Penn State, but that's a whole new regime. Penn State's been in and out of controversy and finally putting themselves back on the map. I'm on Penn State to win this game.
That's a tough game, player.
That's a tough game.
It's a tough game. I won't say that Penn State's not going to win that game. I'm not going to say that. I just feel like that's a tough game right now. It's
going to be a low-scoring affair. I don't think this game is going to get out of reach. I don't think it's going to be crazy. I think I may be involved in a stomachache, but I'm going to take a shot with Penn State and get it done. So I'm going to move over to you. What do you got up your sleeve for tomorrow?
I'm a blue chipper, and I'm going to go blue chip. You know me. I don't really want to play around. I want to go blue chip. I want to go with proven winners, and I want to go with talented teams that I think definitely are in the best situation to win tomorrow. And I've come up with 3 that I really like, and they're not going to be really too big of a surprise. We're going to start off with the Ohio State University.
Okay.
All right. I like Ohio State. Obviously, we talk about Ohio State's being coached up by Urban Meyer. We talk about what they've been doing this season. There was a little bit of struggle the last couple of weeks. I'm aware of that. However, I do expect them to bounce back, get that offense back moving again, and have some success against this Nebraska team. I do expect that. I don't now expect them to cover this spread. I'm not messing with the spread. I think they can cover the spread, which is why I wouldn't take Nebraska, but I'm not going to put my eggs in the basket with this spread. I believe that if you get this under 10, 9.5, you're going to be successful here. I think JT Barrett is going to get it going, have a lot of success against the Nebraska defense. Nebraska's defensively, they do it for me a little bit, but 342 yards, once again allowing 205 through the air. JT Barrett should have some success against that secondary. I think that they're going to play. I expect Nebraska to try to probably man up and not play a lot of zone against Ohio State.
Okay.
I think that poses a big problem for Nebraska if they try to man up with Ohio State. And I think that you're going to see Urban Meyer make an adjustment. Tell Barrett, let's go over the top. Curtis Samuel should be able to get down the field. I think they're going to have a lot of success in the passing game. So I like Ohio State to win this game.
That line is super heavy.
No doubt. It's one of those ones
there is something. Yeah, there's something going on here. You know what? Everybody looked at the Ohio State struggle with Northwestern last week. And you know what? That's why this line is so puzzling. It makes you scratch your head because, Nebraska is a 7-1 team. And you know what? They're one touchdown away from being 8-0.
Definitely.
They lost at Wisconsin, and that's a very, very difficult place to play. And Ohio State just got out of there with by the skin of their teeth. There's a reason why this line is high. Watch the Ohio State come out and just blow them out.
Well, I'm looking for the blowout, and I expect I will have this under 10.
You will have it under 10. So you don't have to stomachache it at all. The last time they haven't played each other since 2012, believe it or not. So there's a complete new set of players since that matchup, guys. So don't even think about that. I love the guys that say 10 years ago, this team did this and this team did that. Guys, a whole new regime. Come on, don't do it. But I agree with the Dream, and I think this line is definitely there's a reason why it's this high. When you've been gambling for as long as we have, there's a reason why they set these lines. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I like it under 10 with you. I'm not going to take it, but I understand where you're going with that, Dream. So we'll go from there. Let's talk about another matchup here. Let's go right to the SEC. And let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide going into LSU, going into Death Valley. What's your thoughts on this game?
Well, I was saving that for last. That's one of the 3 teams that I'm on as well. Why not go with the number 1 team in the country? And once again, you look at this line, you scratch your head as far as I'm concerned, because I think the 7 is way too low. I expect Alabama to go in and have a lot of success against an LSU team that I don't really think is that good. You
know what? they've definitely turned it around a little bit with Les Miles departing over there. This team, surprisingly, I mean, a lot of people kind of wrote them off. But you know what? They've been sneakily winning the last 3 games. However, the last 3 teams they've played have been Missouri, Southern Mississippi, and Ole Miss. So you can't really give them too much credit for that because, I mean, these teams are not that good that they're playing. But, when you look at Alabama, there's just no way you could bet against Alabama right now. And you know what, Dream? I think Alabama is clearly the superior team, but you know what? Looking at it here, you know how I feel about betting against home team underdogs, especially on primetime. So I'm going to stay away from it, but I wish you the best of luck. Alabama clearly superior, and Alabama embarrassed LSU in the last outing. So good luck with that one.
The thing when you look at this game, Alabama allowing rushing yards, 70 rushing yards on the ground, that defense is allowing. Fournette is not going to have any success against that defense. LSU is not going to be able to run the ball. It's going to make them a one-dimensional team to throw the ball over top, and that is not going to be successful for them as far as I'm concerned against a very, very good Alabama defense that could probably beat the Cleveland Browns.
All right, so we've got one more college game to go over for the Dream, which we are going to do, but without being rude, I'm going to bring in my man, Mr. Tommy Rupich, to talk horses as soon as we're done with college football. What's up, Tommy?
Oh, my God. I'm here with the effervescent and esteemed Stanley Carswell. We have a lot to report, but we'll let you finish your college football segment before we move on to the ponies.
Oh, fantastic, man. And feel free to let us know if you got anything up your sleeve for the collegiate slate tomorrow.
T-Money, what's going on, baby? Good to hear you. Good to hear your voice this morning. And what's happening?
Oh, my God. Well, for the past 30 days, Stan and I have been at the Living the Dream Sports Fantasy Camp. It's an intense 30-day program hosted at the Dream's fortified wooded compound. Now, a lot of people might look at it on the outside and say, hey, that's just a shed with some rusty weights and a black and white TV. But it's really simple living that allows you to focus. There's essential core building exercises that the Dream constructed, like picking up his dry cleaning, cleaning out the chicken coop, walking the dog. It's just like being at a monastery without all that spiritual crap getting in the way.
There you go,
And,
Dream.
some might describe it as cruel and inhumane, but as the Dream says, this ain't no beauty spa. It's a training camp built on discipline to make you a winner for life.
All right.
No doubt.
Yes.
Kyle, give me a minute. Let me get over this college football. Let me get finished with this last play on the board, guys. I'm looking at the University of Florida.
Wow.
Florida is the last piece of this puzzle. I like Florida on Saturday. We know what they've been doing defensively. Florida, they played that tight game all the way to like the third quarter hat.
Of course.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you look back at the ticker again. Next thing you know, they're up like 3 touchdowns.
I agree. I'm looking at them here. This team is 6-1 on the year.
The team's 6-1. It seems like they've been as much as Michigan's been home. Seems like they've been on the road traveling, so they know how to handle being on the road. The defense is playing absolutely stellar. You're going in to play an Arkansas team giving up 428 yards of offense to other teams. So the defense just isn't that potent with Arkansas. I expect to see. Now, and the thing that when you look at Arkansas and look at the way Auburn just beat Arkansas 56-3, to me, Florida's defense is as good or if not better than Auburn's.
Way better.
Way better. I don't know about way better, but I would just say better.
Way better.
And I don't expect Arkansas to have any success. Expect Florida to hold it down. I like Florida, and that will end up in the whole package for me. That's Florida, Ohio State, and Alabama.
Well, I'm looking at it here, Dream, and Florida's won the last 9 matchups.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it goes further than that because that's all I have on my board here. It's going back to 1995. Wow. So it just seems like, you know how I feel about the home team dogs. But Florida, clearly, guys, if you look at what they're doing defensively, Dream, they only give up 11.7 points per game, which is sick.
Absolutely.
Crazy. And that's, 240 yards defensively they're giving up. That's it. Arkansas is going to have a problem. And I went back last year. I remember I told you that this Florida defense was athletic and awesome. And sure enough, going into this year, same thing, Dream. And they have really, really done their thing. So, you know what? It's probably a good play. but I'm going to stay off it just because of my superstitions.
Oh, dude, you know what?
But I wish you the best of luck.
Please, can you send him the Exorcist doll, a Ouija board, something over the hat, because he's having some issues right now. He's afraid of his home team underdog.
I am. Come on.
You know what? We had an exorcism last night in Tampa Bay.
Son, you know that you got that nasty 4 points on top of it.
We had an exorcism last night in Tampa Bay, and that line was 4 as well, Hat.
Yeah, I know, but then you had the Chicago Bears on Monday night, so what does that tell you?
But that was different.
All right, that was different. Okay. So
Green, you should drop the running back. They're a little thin there in Tampa these days.
without further ado, we're going to bring in Mr. Tommy Rupich to talk a little Breeders' Cup because we got that going off tomorrow. What time's it go off, like 12:55 or something like that?
What's the ET on the post time there, Stan? I think it's what is that? It's a mile and a quarter. The time is subject to change. The Classic is usually the last race, the 12th race on the card. So 5:30, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. Oh, so all the preliminary races are before that.
Yeah, absolutely. They save the best for the last. And speaking of the best, Stan and I like to come onto the show to provide your wonderful listeners with one thing. It's the word called value.
Value.
Value. Yes, we're all about punching tickets. That's why we're on the show.
I know, and you guys have been stellar with your stuff.
Well, we lost last time. We were undefeated. We were 4-0, and then we stumbled. We were a bit fractious in the gate last time. I think I got too excited. That's why I had to go to Dreams Fantasy Sports Camp and reel myself in.
There you go.
A lot of excitement.
There you go. So let's talk.
We got it narrowed down to 4 horses, gentlemen.
Let's talk about it. Let's see what you got up your sleeve because you know what? I'm definitely a horse racing fan. I did go to Saratoga this year, and I had a ball. That's a great trip, guys. If you ever get a chance to do it, it's really fun.
Oh, yeah. I've been there several times. It's beautiful. We actually, on our little podcast, Why Milford, we interviewed yesterday a female jockey, Diane Crump. Now, she was the first female jockey to ride a pari-mutuel race in the history of the United States, and she was also the first female jockey to ride in the Kentucky Derby in 1970.
Nice.
So we'll provide you guys a link with that once we go through post-production and put it up on the site.
Awesome. Fantastic.
So,
So,
Dan's going to start.
Yeah, talk to me.
That's great. My first one would be Frosted, going off at 5-1. Frosted has the fastest single race of any of the horses in the field. That was in June. Which is a big plus. A little bit of a minus is Frosted has lost to 3 of the horses in the field. So I don't imagine Frosted is actually going to win, but I expect to see that horse in the money.
All right.
So
Sounds good. So
for an
that's
exotic
Frosted.
or something, I'd be putting Frosted in there.
And what's the post position one of his odds, Stan?
Frosted is number 2, and it's going off at 5-1.
5-1. All right. So that's a pretty good value right there. Is that one of the heavier favorites, like the lowest odds?
I would say it's probably the 4th favorite in the race.
I think it's 4th, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, because the betting is going to be dominated by California Chrome, which right now is going off at even.
Yeah, and he is. Remember, gentlemen, he had a very bad break. He probably should have been a Triple Crown winner. He stumbled coming out of the gate and actually had a very bad laceration on his leg. So he was struggling through that whole race. But in the past year, he's a 5-year-old horse. He's been undefeated. And another little nugget about California Chrome is that he went over to Dubai and ran in the UAE Emirates race. So the Dubai World Cup is basically the wealthiest race in the world. So it attracts the top talent. He went over there. Remember, it's 102 degrees there every day. It's really hard for horses to assimilate. They have to travel long, they have to be quarantined. So it's a huge disadvantage. He went over there, won that race, came back. Typically, horses will lose their next race after that. He did not do that. He's been undefeated the entire year.
Okay.
So
Dream.
he's a deserved even money favorite, but again, we're looking for value.
Dream, you're probably looking at the favorite no matter what, huh?
You know me, I'm always about a favorite.
All right.
Well, I'll give you another one, which is the second favorite is Arrogate. It's going up at 5-2. This is a consistently fast horse. Absolutely crushed it at the Travers in August. Maybe a little less experienced against the big boys, and so Tommy's got his doubts. But I like Arrogate a lot. It's 5-2. Again, in an exotic, you're betting a trifecta or something like that. And the other disadvantage of Arrogate is going off all the way on the outside in the 10 slot, which hasn't been a successful spot yet.
No, my reservations about Arrogate, I mean, he's a wonderful horse. He might be a little immature compared to these, but he's peaking at the right time. He is very lightly raced for a 3-year-old. He does have the second highest buyer speed figure. You're into that as one way of handicapping. I do like his running lines, but he seems to need the lead. And if he's going to be gunned up to the front, I think that the maturity is going to catch up to him. And then there's also the bounce factor. He had that huge last race where he made a huge jump up in class in terms of speed. It's difficult for horses to repeat that, especially when you bring in Tier 1 contenders against them the next time. So he's moving outside of his age class. He's moving from, and that happened at Saratoga too. And Saratoga's a weird track. I mean, they call it the graveyard of champions for a reason. So it's a completely different surface. He may have just loved that, absolutely. Very different shipping out to California against more mature, experienced horses. I'm not going to go with you on that one, especially at 5-2. If he had better odds, if he was coming in at 10-1, yeah, I'd be backing up the truck right now. But 5-2, very low odds for that horse.
I would think that those odds start to trip a little bit tomorrow.
I think you're right. Yeah.
You've got a better number tomorrow, I think.
Yeah. So far we've covered Frosted, which is the number 2 horse that Stan likes, and the number 10, Arrogate.
All right.
And I like to take a swing for the fence, guys, and I think I got a horse for you that might come into money here, if not win it all, depending on the pace of the race. And that's the 6 horse, Melatonin. Melatonin is a 5-year-old horse, and he's ridden by Smokin' Joe Talamo, the most winning jockey at Santa Anita. He has home course advantage. His last race was at Santa Anita, where he dominated the field, and he was actually pretty much just ridden out, by hand in the closing. So I like that he has some energy in the tank. And if you look at his numbers, his speed and pace numbers, they're all progressive. And he doesn't necessarily have to be in the lead, but he is a very front-running horse. So you'll see him at the top of the pack. So if this becomes a speed race, may not be to his advantage entirely. You'd like to see some modest or, average fractions. But if they come out firing 21-21 in the first 2 quarters, this might set up for a closer. But if we have some reasonable fractions, I can see Melatonin, the 6 horse at 12-1, being up at the front and having a good chance turning for home there.
Well, I got news for you, boys. I would shop those lines because I'm looking right now Melatonin at 20-1 on my board.
Really?
Yeah, I got 20-1 here. I've got your Frosted at 8-1.
Nice.
Like
Yeah,
that.
man.
Well, you got all new Vegas odds. I mean, I printed this out from the Daily Racing Forum just yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So those odds have changed a lot in 24 hours.
Yes, sir. So, and you've got the favorite at -120 being California Chrome, obviously. So,
Ooh, yeah.
So you're not even getting even money on my board with that one. So shop your lines, guys. You got plenty of places to look. So make sure that you play your play where you're going to get the best odds.
Yeah, and another thing that really is going to help you plan tickets is to box these in an exacta. Now, you can do that for $1. You can take 4 horses for $1 box exacta. That's a really inexpensive $12 bet. What you want to do with horses of this class and this caliber basically have to feel good in the race. On any given day, any of these horses have a real chance to win, actually. So it really depends on how the pace of the race sets up, and a lot of racing luck. So I really encourage all the listeners to take 4 horses, put them in a box, and, try the exacta. A trifecta is very difficult to hit. An exacta is actually not as difficult as you might think. So that means that if you have 4 horses, any of those 4 horses coming in first or second, you win.
Right on.
So that's a really great way to make money. I mean,
Cool.
even if the favorite does come in on top for $12 and you have somebody 20-1 underneath it coming in the bottom, you're still going to make money off it. Not as much as if 20-1 came on top, but still you're going to make some profit. And it's all about trying to make value with this.
Yeah,
Value.
given the expectation that California Chrome is probably going to win, it turns into a race where you do have to bet that way.
Yeah.
It's the only way to make money.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So those are our horses, the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 10, gentlemen. I would suggest that you box them in exactas and trifectas and do your due diligence independently. There are some other horses in here, like the 9 horse could step up easily. The number 1 horse, FNX, but I've lost too much effing money on him, so I'm not betting on him. But we're going to stick with our 4 horses and go from there.
All right. Sounds good. And do you have
All right,
any other like major long shots in any of the races tomorrow? Because I'm a super underdog player. I love underdogs.
Yeah, I would actually look at the. You're going to get the most value, but it's a complete scattershot race. It's the juvenile race. It's for 2-year-olds, for 2-year-old male horses. Now that's tomorrow. That's on the undercard. There are 4 horses that are undefeated that have never faced each other, and a couple of these horses in their home states and their local tracks, they're winning by 13 lengths. But once you put them together, it's the equivalent of playing D1 football and then going to the pros. So you don't know how their talent's going to translate or how they're going to handle the crowd. Some of these horses are very fractious. They're young. It's like having a teenage kid. They're all excitable and everything. So some of them don't handle crowd noise very well, or even just shipping out to a new track that they've never run at before. So there's 4 horses that are undefeated. I would look at some of the horses that are not undefeated but have finished second and maybe have run 3 or 4 wins and come in second ones. Those are the horses that you're going to get huge value off of that, because you're essentially going to have a race with 4 favorites and a bunch of huge long shots underneath. So look for those up and coming horses that aren't undefeated going in the 2-year-old juvenile race to provide value for you there.
All right. Sounds good. Dream, you got any questions regarding the ponies?
I don't. I love just taking all this information in and writing it down.
Yeah, right.
So I go to the track. I don't look like an idiot because I always walk up and I'm like, hey, I'd like to. Some ladies looking at me like, huh? Then there's an old guy at back and be like, can you move? Can you speed it up, buddy?
Like, can I money line parlay to horses?
And there's always some old guy paying with pocket change. I swear to God. I'll see a race, I'll be at the track, and a guy will pull on a roll of quarters and break it out on the desk and be like, oh, hold on a second. I'm like, dude, I gotta get my bet in.
Tommy, that's you looking in the mirror.
I know, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Unbelievable.
See, why did you?
Yeah, bet early. Bet early. You gotta get in there early, Dream.
All right.
You can't let these old people slow you down.
Definitely not.
Raspy. I'm like, dude, you should have spent a little extra time in the shower this morning instead of getting in this line.
No doubt. So, Tommy, real quick, I just want to talk to you. So you are in Connecticut now, and what are you running for office here?
So
in 2017, yes, I'll be running city council for alderman for the beautiful city of Milford. Stan and I are recording in our wonderful studio. We just started a new podcast. We had our 5th episode yesterday of Why Milford, which is a show featuring locals, and it ranges anywhere from celebrities to businessmen to local people of interest. So at one point, what we're going to do is have you guys on the show. Because
Fantastic.
You're local enough. I mean, you're right down the street, essentially. So,
right on.
Yeah, we'd like to have you guys as a featured guest on a future episode of Why Milford, if you are so willing to jump aboard our 4-star cruise ship here.
Tom, I got to be honest with you. I don't know why right now you would even bother with Alderman, because you could run for the president of the United States.
Wow.
You would win. So if you got a couple of extra bucks hanging around, or even get with us, we could get you right. If you start right now, you probably would win the president of the United States in the upcoming election.
Probably. I think I would need at least a few more months of intense training at your sports fantasy camp in the Jet.
I think you're based on the candidates that are up right now, I think you'd win by a landslide.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you
I might just throw my dog in the ring while I'm at it,
There you
Run
go.
as a team.
There you go.
The dog could win. The sock puppet could win.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, inanimate objects could win at this point.
This has to be the absolute worst election that I don't even remember an election this bad ever in my lifetime, which I hate to say it's pretty long.
It's horrible, dude. It's like if somebody served you a sandwich that fell on the floor and you were starving and you know it had a high bacteria count, and it would most likely kill you if you consumed it, but you're starving, so you're stuck in an awkward situation. Do I eat this sandwich, which will certainly kill me, or do I starve to death, which also leads to obvious death? So that's the situation that we're in, where both of them are just horrible. And that's why I like to be distracted like pleasant things like sports and horse racing to keep me positive.
There you go. There you go. Guys, you're listening to my man, Tommy Rupich and Company. Guys, tell everybody where to find you, and we will go from there on this Friday.
You can reach out to me on Facebook at Tommy Rupich, or you can reach out to me at Twitter at Mayor 2016. Mayor 2019 Rupich, because I have my strategy planned for mayor for Milford already, so I got that Twitter handle out there.
All right.
And Stan and I are doing our website right now for Why Milford. That's going to be up shortly. We have a SoundCloud account as well. You can check us out there very shortly. We're doing a lot of stuff locally with the political front, but we're kind of segueing into just having our own little operation like we did with FanAche. So we're building, and we got to show up for Why Milford. So that's probably the best way immediately that you can reach out to me on Facebook. In the near future is at Tommy Rupich on Facebook.
Fantastic, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and always look forward to your stellar knowledge and looking forward to seeing it. And this is all free information, guys. So we'll go and play that little exacta box and see how we go.
Well, thank you so much for having Stan and I again. We're very privileged and honored, and we love you guys, love your show, and we'll spread the good word as always.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye. Take care. All right, Dream. So there's something I want to talk to you about.
Talk.
And I want to go back to the collegiate slate real quick, because I know we're talking about a team, and we're talking about a couple of teams here, actually, in the Pac-12. And I want to talk about one of the worst defenses in collegiate football right now, a team that I believe has packed it in.
Okay.
Versus a team that I feel is on the rise. And we're talking about the Oregon Ducks going into Southern Cal. USC is given 17 points, Dream.
Defense packed it in.
Oregon has packed it in on the year. Oregon, I don't know if you realize what this team has done defensively.
Nothing.
Go back their last 5 games. They've given up the following amount of points. Colorado, 41. At Washington State, 51. Washington, 70. At Cal, 52. And versus Arizona State, 35. Dream, I'm looking at this game. I know the line is heavy, 17 points. But I just can't see Oregon stopping Southern Cal at all. Southern Cal is, turning it around a little bit. I think the line's a little heavy, but if you're looking at a teaser situation, this might be something to get under 10. What's your thoughts?
Well, once again, whenever I see any defense allowing 234 yards on the ground, which Oregon is allowing, you have to start looking at the other team saying, hey, guys, listen, if they've allowed 234 yards on the ground, then we got to at least get 175 yards on the ground, which means that you're going to be able to run the ball with a lot of success. Means you're going to control the clock. You're going to minimize on a lot of mistakes being made. Drop passes, no issues. The run always fluidly presents more offense to your offense when you are able to have a successful running game. Not to mention, you're able to control the clock. Oregon has that up-tempo type offense, rhythm type offense. If they're sitting on the bench watching your offense perform, they just will never get in their rhythm. So I happen to agree with you. In this particular case, USC probably is the way to go, but I wouldn't go near this game.
Kid, they're giving up 525 yards per game defensively.
But
that is insane.
USC just doesn't do it for me, though.
I know.
USC just does not do it for me at all, man. I don't like anything about USC this season. I'm sorry. I don't like the way their offense has played. I know that they've won, some interesting games. They did beat Colorado. I see that on their resume.
Yeah.
That beat the Cal means nothing to me, and Arizona beating them doesn't mean all that to me either. I know Rick Lopez is probably jumping up and down in his seat talking about, what is he talking about? Because Rick's a West Coaster, but USC just doesn't do it for me. And there's always that. It looks too easy.
Looks too easy. I don't know, man. I mean, they were pretty impressive last week.
Looks too easy.
So, moving on here. Do you have any other games that you want to talk about? Because I got a couple that I want to have a conversation with you about.
And my thing is, you said that the Oregon Ducks quit. Well, they decided to beat Arizona State 54-35.
Yeah, but Arizona State is terrible, bro.
I'm not disagreeing with you that, but the only thing I will tell you this is USC only beat them by 11.
Yeah, okay. Got it. I don't know, man. Arizona State, I'm looking at what their body of work is. I mean, they have just been brutal this year, Dream. I mean, they do have a winning record, but I don't know.
Wow, yeah.
I've seen them up and down this year, and you know what?
And that's my thing with that pack, That's one of my issues with Washington and why I struggle with them, and probably why the AP poll struggles with them too as well, because when you look at some of those teams, they're just dreadful.
Yeah. Well, it's more the College Football Committee that's struggling with them. It's not so much the AP poll. But I'm going to tell you right now that I did hear a little rhetoric with the College Football Playoff Committee that they do not care about style points, Dream. They don't care how much a team beats down another team.
Okay.
They don't care. They don't take that into consideration.
I don't know if I believe.
I don't know if I agree with that either. Because you know what? When a team goes out like a Louisville and wins 70-3 or something like that, you got to have that in your brain.
Well, it's not just that, though. I won't even say the 70-3 against the booty team, but if you go out against a good team and really dominate them, now you got to have in your brain. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like the recorded phone call that's that you can't listen to in court, but the jury hears it.
Yeah,
and they're supposed to get rid of it, out of their brains, but it's still there. It's that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Moving on here. Do you got any other college football to talk about?
As far as college football is concerned, dude, I'm going to keep it real simple with those plays. The only other team of note that I do want to mention, I have to give them a little bit of attention. This Auburn team, it's time to stand up and recognize this team a little bit. I know they got off to a really rough start this season. They have put it back together, dude, and they're going to play the team I've loved to pick on most of this season after seeing them live. They're going in to play Vanderbilt, and we already know that Vanderbilt is dusty.
3-11 on the road in the last 14 games, Vandy.
Absolutely dusty Vandy. Is this Auburn team, dude? I mean, LSU, 18-13. Mississippi State, 38-14. Arkansas 56-3. Ole Miss beat down last week 40-29. It is time to understand the Auburn Tigers. They're getting it done, man. They're making it happen right now. I am very impressed with what Auburn's done. Their body of work. They are getting it done. White's looked very, very good at the quarterback position. 113 passes for 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns. The running game has been pretty potent with Petway. 148 carries with 933 yards with 7 touchdowns. Dude, Auburn is trying to get themselves some recognition and should be getting it.
All right. I mean, both of these teams aren't bad defensively, though, Dream.
The Commodores are bad defense. Don't listen. Commodores are bad.
You think so? They're only giving up 21 points a game.
I know, but bro, I'm telling you, this team is bad. I've seen them. They're bad. Auburn should have a field day with them. Now, you guys know we do not play with points. We play with them, but manipulate them down.
Yeah, you never
play with them as far as laying all that heavy spread. I just don't do that. And Auburn is given 26. I feel like if you get this under 3 touchdowns, so you get this to that 19 or that 20 mark, and all you need is 3 touchdowns, you should be safe in this case. All you need to do is put that 7 on that, and you're good. If you want to put 10 on it, even better. I like Auburn to roll.
All right, sounds good. And I'll be putting a poll on Twitter later on which home team underdog do you think has the best shot at winning this week. You know LSU is going to be mixed in there. You're going to have Arkansas in there at +4. You're going to have Northwestern in there. They're hosting Wisconsin this week. And you're going to have NC State in there playing Florida State, hosting Florida State as a 6-point underdog. So you got 4 games there, Dream.
Very interesting to know where Florida State's psyche is now after that last loss. Their season, unfortunately, is pretty much a wrap. Not that it wasn't a wrap before that, because it kind of was, but I felt like if they got that win, there'd be a little bit of life injected in them.
Yeah, and they should have won the game. You already know that.
Should have. How many? The Cleveland Indians are saying that right now. Should have won the World Series.
Yes, sir.
Cam, we should have won the Super Bowl.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, we could have, should have did a whole bunch. Louisville saying they should have beat Clemson. I mean, we could go on for days with that hat.
Yeah, got it. All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for us.
They're saying I should have not bet the Dream Wings because I own wings this weekend.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
All right, guys, we're going to get out. And, hey, we got ponies to bet. We've got college football to bet all day tomorrow. We've got college football tonight. Got NBA in full swing. Got the NHL. Next week starts college basketball. Dream, this is bananas.
Absolutely bananas. We didn't talk anything about the NBA lineup tonight. Can we just run over there for 1 minute?
Yeah, go for it.
Hold on 1 second. I know we want to get off the air and get out of there. Got some things that we got going on today, but really quick, since we're not going to be on tomorrow, guys, let me just look at the NBA board this evening and see what we have, because I don't want to miss. Last night, that was a bad missing Golden State as far as I'm concerned.
I wouldn't have taken Golden State last night, though. Just because of the way OKC was playing. You know what? That was a stay away from game for me regardless.
I like Golden State's spot last night, especially at home. Looked like and I told you Golden State looked a little bit better in their last outing as far as playing Portland is concerned. And I knew that I think OKC, like I said before, is undermanned. All they're offering to you, as far as I'm concerned, offensively, OKC to me is built like Houston right now. Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. They almost have the same build and feel. I would have to lean that OKC's better than Houston, but it's got that same feel as far as those teams are concerned. And now OKC takes their show on the road to Lake Show. Golden State takes their show on the road to Lake Show. That's an interesting matchup right there. Also, Spurs looking for a bounce back from the Spurs. Spurs caught a loss out of nowhere, and a couple people got stung with their last loss. Spurs are playing that Jazz team tonight. Heck, you talked about the Jazz being a defensively sound team.
Oh, both teams are.
Okay, both teams.
There's not even a total posted yet.
That's what I was going to talk about. I've got 186 points.
I would take the under all day with those two teams, all day. And let me just take a look real quick here and just see what they're doing defensively right now. You've got the Spurs giving up 95.6 points and the Jazz 92.4. And what'd you say? It's 186?
Yes.
You're right there, brother. And the Utah Jazz don't do it for you offensively at all. When you look at the under, just going back to last year, guys, 15 of the last 22 games of Utah have gone under. Yeah, I could see that being like a 94 to 86 final or something like that. You know what I mean? I like the under there. Gotta take it, man. Gotta take it.
Gotcha. One other spot you guys might want to look at, the New York Knickerbockers are coming into the Chicago Bulls tonight. Oh. So Mr. Rose will be coming into his old team. Jimmy Butler, I look for him to go ham on the Knick defense because the Knick defense is terrible, son.
Really? Little prop bet?
Absolutely terrible. I look for I wouldn't go prop bet. I like the Bulls to win this game right at home. The Knicks, man, telling you, I thought they were going to get improved. Definitely going to take a minute for this chemistry to act right. I see the Bulls beating them up.
You do?
I do. I see the Bulls beating them up. I mean, here come, the Knicks with the old Bulls guys because there's Noah's there too,
Sure.
So I see the Bulls just handling their business and handling this Knicks team. It hasn't worked out yet for the Knicks. I think they're tinkering with the chemistry and trying to make it work. It hasn't worked out, but it is so far working out for Chicago. You like this Bulls team. You turned me on to them. I'm now giving them a look, and I'm going to look at them tonight as I kind of like the Bulls in this situation tonight against this Knicks team.
They're scoring a lot of points.
Yep.
When you look at what they've done, 100 points, 118, 118, 105. Yeah, I mean, that's a good amount of points. I mean, they're averaging 110 points a game. Not bad. So when you look at the landscape of what they've done and when you compare them statistically, the Bulls are superior in everything, Dream. Everything. Percentages, blocks, steals. I mean, you name it, and they're ahead. So that might be a pretty good play. And I think the line's a little low.
Line is a little bit low. It looks slightly attractive. I do like the Chicago Bulls tonight. I'm probably going to go, I'm probably just going to go right there. I'm probably, even though I do like your under 2, maybe you tease that. I don't really do teasers with basketball. We talked about that in the past as well. I don't really do the teasers with basketball. But in this case, I would be teasing only because I want the extra points on that under.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? So that might behoove you to do, or otherwise just take the Bulls straight.
All right. Sounds good, guys. So we're going to get up out of here, and we appreciate it, and we will be back on Sunday. Dream, what do you got to do to close out of here?
I thank everybody that's participated in the show as far as retweet is concerned. We brought you a little bit of the Breeders' Cup information. I hope that will be successful to somebody. If you're getting out there, getting involved with these horses, do what my man Tommy says, because he knows what he's doing. Really good. Had a lot of success on this show. The information that he's given out in the past has come to pass for the most part. So if you're getting down with that, hopefully that's a step in the right direction. I want to thank Key MVU, Joseph Del Rosario, Vegas Girl 92661, Dr. Dizzle's in the house out there, Terrence Mack is out there, C. Rodriguez Jr., Wayne Yarborough, Shane Whitehead is out there. We also have Jeff Ryan, Jonesy, LA Wiz Kid, Jay Snyder, Andy Jones, Sirach King J's out in the house, Jason Riley, Christos, SD Bryan, Cash Action Bets, and Rick Lopez, just to name a few. Gang, we're not going to be on tomorrow, as we do have to handle some very personal business for my boy and to handle and do some things that just not going to have us in any kind of position that won't even be on the air tomorrow at all. We wish you guys have a really good Saturday. Be careful with your Saturday plays. Obviously, follow the tools of the trade. Manipulate those lines as much as possible. Gave you a little small blueprint of what we're looking at. That's Florida, Ohio State, Bama, and also an honorable mention on the Auburn team. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you with. Make the most of each and every day, because you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. So I'm closing out my teaser with Penn State University to win the game on the field tomorrow. No points involved at all. I do like that Jazz and San Antonio under. I think I might get involved with that one. And Dream, you know what? I'm high on the Bulls with you. I think I might get involved in that too. It all depends on where my head is at mentally, honestly.
No doubt.
Tonight, tomorrow, that kind of thing. But I know the Penn State play is already in. So I'm committed to that 100%. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there with everything you do. But whatever it is, tell your parents you love them. And get that money. Let's go.